The feed recorded everything. The gentle touch, the stolen kiss. They didn't even know I was watching.
She texted asking if I would be home late again. I replied that work dragged on and I would message when leaving. She sent a smiling reply that felt rehearsed. I noticed the living room camera notification blink quietly. I had installed cameras weeks earlier for peace of mind. I never mentioned them because trust should not need announcements. That evening the app showed movement while I was still away. I opened the live view and muted the sound. The door opened and she stepped inside, checking the hallway. Her posture looked cautious rather than relaxed. She set her bag down and typed quickly on her phone. A reply arrived on my screen asking where I was. I said traffic was slow and sent a neutral emoji. The camera showed her smile fade into focus. She walked to the kitchen and poured a drink. Another figure entered the frame behind her. My breath stayed steady as recognition settled. They spoke close and laughed softly. She glanced toward the hallway vent and ceiling corners. The cameras remained unseen and patient. My phone buzzed with her message asking for food requests. I answered with something simple to keep the moment ordinary. On the screen, she leaned into him without hesitation. He kissed her cheek and she did not pull away. I watched without anger, only clarity. Minutes passed as they moved through familiar routines. She guided him toward the bedroom like it was rehearsed. I closed the live feed and sat with the quiet. A message from her arrived saying she missed me. I replied that I missed her too. The lie felt heavier than the silence. Later she texted asking my return time again. I said I would be later than planned. She responded with relief disguised as concern. I reopened the camera view after a pause. The hallway was empty and the bedroom door closed. I turned the sound on briefly and then muted it. My hands did not shake anymore. I made notes about dates and patterns. The pattern had been there for months. I decided not to confront tonight. Watching gave me answers without arguments. Near midnight she texted asking if I was safe. I said yes and wished her good sleep. She replied with a heart and a promise. I drove home slowly and parked quietly. The house looked calm from the outside. Inside she pretended to be asleep. I showered and lay beside her breathing evenly. Sleep did not come, but resolve did. Morning brought casual greetings and routine smiles. She asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes and thanked her. The cameras showed nothing unusual now. I spent the day planning rather than grieving. Messages from her stayed affectionate and light. I responded kindly and briefly. That evening I invited her to talk. She asked if something was wrong. I said honesty would help us both. She started explaining before questions arrived. I placed my phone on the table and opened the app. Her eyes followed the screen and then widened. The color drained from her face. She whispered questions without finishing them. I told her I watched and waited. She cried and apologized without structure. I asked about how long and why. She spoke in fragments and fear. I listened without interrupting. I said trust ends when secrecy begins. She asked for another chance immediately. I said consequences create chances later. I explained the steps toward separation calmly. She argued and pleaded in waves. I stayed steady and clear. The conversation ended without shouting. She packed the bag with trembling hands. I helped without touching memories. The door closed softly behind her. Messages arrived through the night. I answered only to set boundaries. Days passed with paperwork and quiet meals. The cameras were removed and boxed. I chose transparency over surveillance. Healing felt slow but honest. She sent a final apology seeking closure. I wished her growth and distance. The house learned a new silence. Peace replaced watching. I slept deeply at last. The story ended without spectacle.